Everybody, this is Miss Ramsey, and I'm coming to you from my mother-in-law's house, but I'm a teacher at Glenwood Elementary, and I know that you are used to seeing Miss Street right now, but I thought that I would help her out and do a lesson for her. So this is my first Facebook Live, so I'm a little bit nervous, so we'll just get through this. Hopefully I won't make too many mistakes. All right, guys. So we usually start out lessons by subitizing, right? So let me get my music up here real fast. All right. What do you see? Whoop, my fingers aren't in the way. 5 and 4, how many? 5 and 1, how many? 5 and 2, how many? How many did you get? All right, let's check them and see. All right, 5 and 4. So 4 and 5, so that makes 9. All right, this one, I think I messed up on it. I said 5 and 1. That's not 5 and 1. What is it? 4 and 1. 4 and 1 makes how many? 5. All right, we've got 5 and 2. So that's 7. And we've got how many? 6. 5 and 1 more is 6. All right, awesome. So what I am going to talk to you guys about is actually measurement and time. So our standard today is telling time. So that's MD.3, telling time to the hour and half hour using analog and digital clocks. So that's two different types of clocks we're going to talk about, analog and digital. But before I do that, I'm going to talk about something, and it might seem a little bit strange to you, but here we go. All right, so I have a carton of eggs. Now, how many eggs are in a carton of eggs? There's 12 in a dozen. 12 eggs in a dozen, okay? So I'm using eggs because I know most of you have seen eggs. Most of you know what eggs are, right? So that's easy to relate to. So here we go. I have a whole carton of pretty blue Easter eggs left over from Easter. All right, so I said that there's 12. Let's count to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, there's 12 eggs. All right, so I know that you guys are super smart first graders, and we've been talking about doubles. And if you know the song, like my students should, you sing, doubles, doubles, I can add doubles. It's no trouble for me to add doubles. All right, so let's see if you can figure out what the doubles would be for 12. What two numbers would we add together to get 12? I have a hint right here. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on bottom. So what do you think our doubles are? 6, and 6 more is 12. That's right. Now, what if I take 6 of these away? So I took 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, and they're all rolling around on the floor. So I took 6 away. So look, half of my eggs are missing. So I took 6 away. So that means I took half of the eggs in the carton away. All right, but I'm going to add those back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I have a whole carton again. All right, so we just figured out that half of our 12 is 6, plus another half is 6, and you put them together and that makes 12. So you might be thinking, Miss Ramsey, what does that have to do with telling time? Well, guess what? I'm going to show you right now. Okay, I have a little clock right here, and I've also drawn one out right here. Let's look at this one. So I have a clock. And so how many eggs were in a dozen? 12. That's exactly right. And then when I took half of them away, what did I have? 6. So, those two actually do have something in common. All right. Now, I know that Miss Street has been talking to you guys about partitioning shapes. And so I know that you guys talked about this shape. So what shape is this? That's right, it is a circle. And if I partition the circle into half, because I know that you guys have done halves and fourths, because I watched last week. So I would like to try to partition this in half. So if I do that, hold on, let me grab my crayon. All right, if I do that, then I'm going to draw a line straight down the middle. So here it is, straight down the middle. Now, I could have gone the other way, but I'm doing it this way. Okay, so if I'm going straight down the middle, what two numbers am I touching? The 12 and the 6, and that's what we were talking about with our carton of eggs. So I'm going to shade it in a little bit more so you can see better that I have done half. I'm doing it quickly so you don't get bored. All right, so I've colored in half. All right, so let's think about this. Half of my clock is not colored in. The other half is colored in, okay? So we can see that when I go here and I go all the way down, I went halfway around the clock. Then if I continue to go, that makes the other half. All right, so let's think about this. My egg carton right here had 12 in it. So if I go, I use this clock now. So I'm going to start on the 12. If I go all the way around one time, I've gone around a whole hour, which also means I've gone around one whole carton of eggs because I went around the whole time. So let's try that again. This time I'm going to go around a whole time. So I went all the way around, back up to the 12. So now I have a whole nother carton of eggs. So I went around one whole time. So that's one carton of eggs. I went around two whole times. So I have two whole cartons of eggs. But we were also talking about half. So let's see what happens. If I go halfway down my clock, then I would only have half a carton of eggs. So I've gone around my clock 2.5 times. 2.5 times. So did that illustration kind of help you figure that out? I hope it did. So we'll probably talk about that more, or Miss Street will, depending on who does the next lesson. All right, so let's look at her little chart right here. Tried to hang it on the mantle. That didn't work. All right, so measuring with time. So I said you're going to have to be able to do it in analog and digital. So right here is we have the clock that we were just working on, and that's our analog clock. Analog clock. All right, and that shows us our time. And then we also have what's called a digital clock. Now, I know that's what most of you are used to, is seeing a digital clock, because that's everywhere now. But they pretty much show us the same things, okay? So let's look at our analog clock. Now, if you don't know what this is called, this is the face of the clock, just like you guys have a very cute face. And we also have hands on our clock, just like you guys have hands on your body to help you out. All right. We also have numerals going around our clock. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to make it all the way around for a full hour. Okay. So that's an analog clock, and we're showing it down here saying 3, and there's our words, o'clock, 3 o'clock. Now let's look at the digital. Like I said, it pretty much tells us the same thing, but we have the hour over here, and I'm getting my fingers all messed up. We have the hour over here. So that's first. That's telling us our time or hour. So we read that first. And then we have our minutes over there, our minutes. So it's the same thing. They're both showing the same time, but in different ways. We have 3 o'clock on the digital and 3 o'clock on the analog. Okay. So you might have noticed on clocks that some have a short hand and some have a long hand. And we'll talk more about this later, or Miss Street will talk with you. But anyway, the short hand shows the hour. So what time is that pointing to? It's pointing to 11. And the long hand shows the minutes. So it's going straight up to the 12. So when it's going straight up to the 12, that means OO. That means o'clock, just like we saw on here. The OO means o'clock. Okay, but like we just talked about, if I go halfway around, I'm going to start counting by 5s. And we could think of each one of these Easter eggs as 5. So it would be 5, and then you'd keep going, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You guys know how to count by 5s. So this would be showing us 11:30. Okay, or we could keep counting since you guys know how to count by 5. So that'd be 30. Keep going. 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Guess what? Miss Ramsey just went the wrong way. Told you I'd mess up. All right, 30, 35. Here we go. 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Awesome. So we went from 11 all the way around the clock to 12. So that made a whole hour. We went around the clock one whole time, just like we earned one whole carton of eggs earlier for going around the clock. All right, so later, depending on who does your lesson, I made one of these with my little boy, and he had a whole lot of fun with it. Let me see if I can get my camera working to where I need it to be. So here we go. We've got it down here. I have made a clock out of spatulas and numbers. And I have a long spatula and I have a short spatula. So you can see that. And I have the numbers on the clock. So right now, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's showing 3 o'clock. So we can practice using anything around the house also to make a clock. So I can move those spatulas around. So that's something fun that maybe you guys can do at your house. All right. So anyway, this was just kind of an introduction to clocks and telling time. So we plan to work with you guys more this week about your standard MD.3, measuring with time. All right. I've had a fabulously fun time with you guys. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.